Stop doing this if you want to captivate someone's attention. Here's a harsh truth. Most people, minus 99% of them, in fact, never get the response they crave because they're making the same mistake over and over again. You see, the problem isn't necessarily the message you send, but the fact that it's probably the wrong message to send in the first place. Yeah, I'm talking about those bland, uninspired texts like, "Hey, what's up?" or "What are you doing?" Let's be real, how often do those get you anywhere? But don't worry, today, we're flipping the script. I'm about to show you how to stop being left on read and start sending messages that not only get a response, but make you unforgettable. So buckle up, because by the end of this video, you'll have the secret sauce to seduction that nobody told you about. Ready? Let's dive in. Section 1. The biggest mistake you're making. Let's kick things off by addressing the elephant in the room, those boring, generic messages. "How's it going?" Yawn. "What's up?" Double yawn. Look, it's not just about what you're saying, but how you're saying it. Messages like these do nothing to stand out in the sea of notifications that fill her phone every day. The real issue isn't just the words, it's the lack of originality, the absence of any emotional connection. When you send a message without thought, you're running the risk of being instantly forgotten. And let's be honest, how many times have you seen the scene indicator with no reply? Yeah, that's what happens when your texts are as bland as unseasoned chicken. But it doesn't have to be this way. So, why do we keep making this mistake? Well, the truth is, it's easy to fall into the trap of sending a quick, thoughtless message because it feels safe. You don't want to overthink things and you're trying to play it cool. But here's the kicker: playing it safe care is actually what's killing your chances. Being safe is being boring, and being boring is the quickest way to get ignored. Think about it. How many times have you received a generic "Hi" or "What's up?" and felt genuinely excited to respond? Exactly. 0. It's because those messages don't spark any emotion, they don't make you feel anything. And if you're not making her feel something, she's not going to feel compelled to respond. Now, I get it, starting a conversation can be intimidating. You don't want to come on too strong, but you also don't want to come off as boring. The key is finding that balance where you're being interesting without trying too hard. And that's where creativity comes into play. Section 2, why your messages aren't working. Here's why those cookie-cutter messages aren't cutting it. They scream, "I'm just like everyone else." And trust me, nobody wants to feel like they're just another number in your inbox. The truth is, if you're not adding value to the conversation, you're wasting her time and yours. Think about it. What do women really do when they get the same tired lines from every guy? They roll their eyes, hit ignore, and move on to the next. To avoid this fate, you need to understand that the key to successful communication lies in the quality of your interactions, not just the quantity. So how do you fix it? Easy, start being more creative and authentic. Let's break it down. When you send a message that doesn't have any substance, you're basically telling her that you don't care enough to put in the effort. It might sound harsh, but that's the reality, and nobody wants to feel like an afterthought. Here's an example. Imagine you're at a party and someone walks up to you and just says, "Hey." No introduction, no follow-up, just "Hey." How would you respond? Probably with an awkward smile and a quick excuse to get out of the conversation, right? The same principle applies to texting. If your message doesn't grab her attention from the get-go, she's going to move on. So what's the solution? It's all about shifting your mindset from "how do I start a conversation" to "how do I make her want to respond?" This means focusing on quality over quantity. One well-crafted message is worth 100 generic ones. But here's the kicker: it doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, the simpler, the better, as long as it's genuine. Section 3, the art of creating captivating messages. All right, now that we've torn apart what not to do, let's get into the good stuff: how to craft messages that truly stand out. The goal here is simple: be memorable, be engaging, and above all, be yourself. Personalized messages are your secret weapon. They show that you've paid attention, that you're genuinely interested in her as a person, not just as a number in your phone. Imagine starting a conversation with something like, "Hey, I remember you said you love sushi, found this amazing place downtown, should we check it out?" Or maybe something like, "Just read this article about that travel spot you mentioned, thought you might like it." These kinds of messages do more than just start a conversation, they create a connection. And that's the foundation for something meaningful. But let's dive deeper into why personalization works so well. First off, it shows that you're attentive, that you've actually listened to what she said before. People love to feel heard and understood. It's a basic human need. When you send a message that references something she's mentioned, you're tapping into that need. It's not just about remembering details, it's about showing that those details matter to you. Secondly, personalized messages stand out because they're unique to the relationship you're building. Anyone can send a generic "hi," but only you can send a message that's tailored specifically to her interest, her personality. That uniqueness is what makes your message memorable. It's what makes her smile when she reads it, and it's what makes her more likely to respond. Here's another tip. Don't be afraid to add a bit of humor or playfulness into your messages. Something as simple as a funny meme, a clever pun, or a lighthearted tease can go a long way in breaking the ice and making the conversation more enjoyable. Humor is a great way to build rapport and show off your personality. Plus, it's a lot more fun than sticking to the same old boring lines. But of course, there's a fine line between being playful and being disrespectful. Always make sure that your humor is appropriate and that it aligns with her sense of humor as well. The goal is to make her laugh, not to make her uncomfortable. Section 4, the power of voice messages. Now here's a game changer that most guys overlook: voice messages. Trust me, there's something about hearing your voice that text alone just can't capture. It adds a personal, emotional touch that instantly makes your message more engaging. Imagine sending a quick voice note saying, "Just wanted to say you really made me smile today, looking forward to our next chat." Simple, yet effective. But here's the thing, if you take the time to send a killer voice message and she doesn't respond right away, don't panic. Seriously, take a deep breath. Maybe she's busy, maybe she's in a meeting, or maybe she's just not in the right headspace to reply. Whatever it is, give her time. Patience, my friend, is key. Nothing kills attraction faster than coming across as needy or desperate. Voice messages are powerful because they convey tone, emotion, and sincerity in a way that text simply can't. The sound of your voice can make your message feel more intimate, more genuine. It's like having a mini conversation, even when you're not face to face. Plus, it shows that you're willing to go the extra mile, which is always a good look. But here's a pro tip. Keep your voice messages short and sweet. You're not recording a podcast after all. A 20 to 30-second message is perfect. It's enough to get your point across without overwhelming her with a monologue. And remember, confidence is key. Speak clearly, but don't overthink it. Just be yourself. Another thing to consider is timing. When you send a voice message, think about what she might be doing at that moment. If it's the middle of the day, she could be at work or school, so maybe keep it light and quick. If it's the evening, you can be a bit more relaxed and conversational. It's all about reading the situation and adjusting your approach accordingly. Section 5, creativity and authenticity, the ultimate combo. Okay, so we've talked about the importance of originality and connection, but let's take it a step further. Creativity doesn't mean pulling out all the stops with flashy language or over-the-top gestures. It's about being genuinely interested and showing it in a way that feels natural. For example, instead of sending a plain "good morning," how about "woke up with a smile thinking about our chat last night, hope your day's as great as you are." Or if you know she has a killer sense of humor, send a funny gif or meme that you know she'll love. But it's all about finding that sweet spot where your message feels both personal and authentic. The best part, when you put in this kind of effort, she'll notice. She'll feel special, important, and more likely to let her guard down, opening the door to deeper, more meaningful interactions. But let's not stop there. Let's talk about how to bring creativity into every aspect of your messaging game. One way to do this is by using multimedia. We're talking photos, videos, GIFs, memes, the whole shebang. A well-timed meme can be hilarious, and a short video can be incredibly personal. It's about breaking the monotony of text and adding a little flavor to the conversation. For instance, if you know she's a fan of a particular show or movie, send her a meme or GIF related to it. It's a small gesture, but it shows that you're paying attention to her interests. Or, if you're out and about and see something that reminds you of her, snap a quick photo and send it with a cute caption. These little things can make a big difference. And here's a bonus tip. Use emojis strategically. Emojis are like the spice of texting. They can add just the right amount of flavor when used correctly. But don't overdo it. Too many emojis can come off as childish, but just the right amount can convey tone and emotion in a fun, playful way. A winking face, a laughing emoji, or a simple heart can go a long way in making your message feel more warm and personal. Section 6. Examples that work. To make this even easier, let me give you some tried and true examples that have a proven track record of success. Feel free to use these as inspiration, but remember, adapt them to your own style. Hey Anna, just wanted to say I really enjoyed our conversation yesterday. It kept me smiling all day. Hope you're having an amazing morning. This message is perfect because it's personalized, it references a specific interaction, and it shows that you've been thinking about her. It's simple, yet effective. Leslie saw this meme and immediately thought of you. What's your take, pizza or sushi for our next adventure? A message like this is playful and invites her to engage in a light-hearted discussion. It's also personalized, which shows that you're paying attention to her preferences. Laura, remember that vacation spot we talked about? Just found this article and had to share with you. Hope you love it as much as I did. Here, you're referencing a previous conversation and providing value by sharing something that you think she'll find interesting. It's thoughtful and shows that you're invested in the conversation. Sarah, needed to share this pic with you. It reminded me of our last adventure together. Hope it brings a smile to your face. This message is great because it's personal. It references a shared experience, and it's designed to make her smile. It's a win-win. Carla saw this GIF, and it made me think of your awesome sense of humor. Hope your day is filled with laughs. A message like this is light, fun, and complements her personality in a way that feels natural and genuine. These examples show that a little creativity goes a long way. By personalizing your messages, you're not just making her day, you're making yourself unforgettable. Section 7. Taking your game to the next level. By now, you're probably starting to see how powerful these strategies can be. But don't stop here, this is just the beginning. The next time you're about to send a text, ask yourself, is this something anyone else could say? If the answer is yes, go back and tweak it until it's uniquely you. Open-ended questions are also a great way to keep the conversation flowing. Instead of asking something that leads to a dead end, try questions like, what's something you're really passionate about? Or what's the best movie you've seen lately? These kinds of questions show genuine interest and keep the conversation engaging. Another powerful tool, genuine compliments. A well-placed compliment can open doors and set a positive tone right from the start. Just make sure it's authentic and specific. Nobody likes flattery that feels forced. For example, instead of just saying, you're beautiful, you might say, you have an incredible smile that brightens up any room. It's specific, it's genuine, and it's something that she's likely to remember. Compliments like these go beyond the surface and touch on something deeper, which can help build a stronger connection. And don't forget about timing. The timing of your message can play a big role in how it's received. Sending a good morning text can be a great way to start her day on a positive note, while a late night message can feel more intimate and personal. Think about what you're trying to convey and choose your timing accordingly, putting it all into practice. So there you have it, everything you need to start sending messages that don't just get a response but build real connections. Remember, every message is an opportunity to show who you are and what you're about. Avoid the generic, be creative, and let your authenticity shine through. Now it's time to put these tips into action. The next time you're about to send a text, think back to what you've learned here. Make it count, make it personal, and watch as your conversations go to the next level. And hey, you've made it this far, so I know you're serious about stepping up your game. Now's the time to take that first step. Go ahead, craft that next message, and let's start making some real connections.